Hello. This is another video of me mucking around and finding out and stuff like that. So I'm working on making more period arrows within the realms of reality. So strange enough, I was bequeathed. Actually, he did die, but it wasn't in a will. A whole lot of dowling. A lady was getting rid of some arrow making stuff that her husband was making, and fortunately he passed 5 years previously, and she was just dropping it all off at an op shop. But op shop people don't take things that are considered weapons, such as arrows. And so I went over and talked to her, and says, "Oh, you've got arrow making stuff?" Yeah. And so I got a whole lot of things. Anyway, sorry, this sounds like a really bad. This is how I make this famous recipe. But let me tell you about walking through Nepal and the sights and sounds of it all. Sorry, but anyway, I got through down, and I've been going down the path of making trying to make arrowheads and stuff like that. So I've got some 8mm dowel, and the question was, okay, how did they do it? And I saw a really nice video of a guy using a flint stone to cut it out. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use a saw. So I've got my my vise at home. It's an old vise. I'm using a piece of leather to wrap around the doweling, because the teeth of the vise will leave imprints. I had to find out the hard way. Might be able to see that. So the first part of doing this is to cut the nock for me. After you've got the doweling, you've got whatever wood that you want. Obviously, if you're making massive 120-pound war bows or something like that, 8mm doweling will not do it. It'll probably shatter in there. You have to muck around and make your own. So anyway, important to cut the nock first. If you don't cut the nock first, you go off and do all the funky putting fletchings on or putting the arrow head on, and then you stuff the nock. It's sort of, especially when you're doing the fletchings, it's just a bit of a waste of time. A recommendation from me is that you get a spare piece of doweling and you practice on this and get it right the first time with this one, instead of just ruining, multiple arrows. So hopefully I won't ruin it here. Now, I tried to stand above it and cut directly down, and I was always a little bit skew with, so that's why I'm out of shot, and I'm going to cut across this way. You can put a little mark and you want to follow that, but it's amazing what your eye does. Is that that's the center of things. Now, the carpentry people will probably lose their minds of me drawing back before pushing forwards. It doesn't quite. I want to try and get that cut in first. And once I'm feeling comfortable with that, I start to draw. And to me, that feels quite good. Now, I'm cutting about a centimetre. I'm not marking it. I'm just simply going by eye, and that's the simple part. Now, you may be off a little bit, and I'm fairly sure you will be. But I believe that the saw mark that you just made, the cut that you just made, will not be wide enough for a bowstring. So I've got just a 3mm wide file, and I'm just coming down and working that in there. And if I find that it's a little bit off to one side, I'm just going to file that until I've got an even cut. So if I spin this around now, hopefully you can see the cut. Since I'm looking at the back of my phone, hopefully I've got it. If I haven't, I apologise. So anyway, that is a short, or maybe a far too long video of me cutting a piece of wood. So I'll rinse and repeat with that, and the next step is me actually playing around with feathers and linen and pitch pitch and stuff like